Good Saturday morning to you. It's actually about 11:35 right now in the morning, and it's pretty cold out here, but it's starting to warm up. And you can see the stuff that I got left here from the insulating board here. I have this 36 by 5 foot long piece here. Then I got a partial one here. And then I've got some more pieces here. So I think it appears that I may have enough to do the entire shed. So I'm picking the smallest pieces that'll fit into small areas, so I'm not to waste anything, and saving the larger sheets for the areas that require bigger pieces. So we're going to get started on this now, and as I said, I'm just going to show you as I go along. It's not going to be, there's no big deal showing you how I cut this stuff. It's just relatively easy with a straight edge and a razor knife, and that's all there is to that. All right, I had to cut it in half because of the wire clamps here that I got in order to fit it in there. And I should have used more glue on it. I only put a little bit of glue on the back of these. You got to use a lot of glue on these things if you want them to stay up in the vertical or in the horizontal position, because unless you can clamp it or tack it in place, because they will not stay on. They will not stay up there until the glue sets. And it says I think 20 minutes or so. So I'll just leave them up there for 20 minutes and they should be fine. Down here I had put what I thought was a lot of glue on the back, but obviously I didn't put enough on because I still got movement here a little bit, just a tiny bit. But it's not going anywhere. It's tight in there. And the same with here. That's solid to the wall. So you got to use enough adhesive, otherwise, it's not going to adhere to the wall good. But like I say, it's not going to go anywhere. The same with the ceiling here. You're probably wondering what this here is. This is aluminum paint that I did when I built this shed. I sprayed it with aluminum paint because that's all I had. Because these trusses were out in the rain until I got around to covering it. So I didn't want this plywood to delaminate because this is not pressure treated plywood on these gussets. This is a 1/2 inch. Some of them are 1/2 inch, some of them are 3/8. So that's why that's painted with aluminum. It just happens to be that that's the only oil-based paint I had. It protected it and it did its job. So now what I got to do, I'm getting a little crowded here. I got this piece glued in and held in with this stuff here to hold it up on the wall. And so I got to put back this. And then I'll get this back up on the shelf. So I start pulling stuff down, I'm going to get pretty crowded here. So I want to be able to make some room for myself here. So I'm going to work on this one next. And while I got that out, I'm going to see if I can, down behind this outlet here, I'm going to put a piece in there. And I'm going to stick a piece up in through here. This is 3/4 inch plywood here. So wood acts as somewhat of an insulator, not a great one, but it does act as an insulator. So I'll just butt that up there. The same way with here. This is 3/4 inch plywood cut off from this. So I'm going to put the dowel 1/2 inch board from here down, and from here I'll take the speaker down and I'll do that whole area in here. And in here, the same way. This is 1/4 inch luan here. So I can just go over the whole thing with it. There'll be a little gap here, so when I glue it, I'll just glue on this face here and here. I won't worry about gluing in the middle because it's not going to fit up against the wall. On this wall, on the other side is the snowblower and lawnmower shed where Uncle Dorkle's legs and ass are stored. this is not an outside wall anymore, so I don't think I have to worry about putting any insulation on that. This here is 3/4 inch plywood. Underneath that is the metal shed. And then, of course, you got the shed. So, I mean, you're not right directly outside, although it's not heated. I don't think there's a problem with this wall here whatsoever. It's been brought to my attention that in the wintertime I should close these up. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'll just put a little cover over it. I got to take this board here and put it on this plywood and cut out for this vent here. And I'm going to lose a little bit of width here, so these parts are going to be a little closer to the edge than I like it. But you can't have everything. I think we'll be pretty close, though. Yeah, they won't fall off. You realize I gotta account for every square inch of this place in order to succeed here. All right. So it's just some thought, just some things that I'm planning on doing. So I'm going to start in this area now, and I'm going to work in here, and I'll come back on the video after I show you that. All right, I got the piece in here. It fit perfectly. I didn't need any glue at all. I just put a little glue in the corner here, and the wire clamp holds this end in, but this fits snug. This one I couldn't measure accurately because I could not see, story of my life, the distance between here and here. I thought it was like 4 inches, but actually it's a little more. So I got it glued in there, and there's a space of about ½ inch all the way up in here. I can always get that great stuff foam. Somebody had mentioned that, and that's a good idea. So I had a hell of a job getting that in there. I had to take this clamp out and lift this wire up and get it through there. Now I got to make a piece here. Now I can measure the width of this, no problem at all. So I'll just put a piece of foam in there. And if I have any pieces left over, I can just go right over the top of this. You know, anyways, because I still got clearance right here between the wire clamp and here. I put that in 10 minutes ago. Look at that. Good thing I used enough. I didn't use a lot of glue on it. Now, it's not perfect. You know, I just can't cut precise and hard to reach places. So, it's good enough. This is not rocket science. So, some of them come out real nice. So when I can get right at something good and look right in and see, I can do it pretty accurately. But getting into hard places like this, I either measure too wide or too narrow. In this case, I measured too narrow. So I think it'll be all right. I guess this will dry eventually. Well, I save all my little pieces, so I'm going to take and put this up in here. I guess I got to cut it a little more. I'm going to just wedge it in the corner there. All right, I got this piece in. You know, this glue just isn't setting up. It's been over half an hour, and this piece still moves. I don't know, I must have got a defective tube of liquid nails here. I bought them both together. It's setting up on the nail that I stuck in the end this morning to open it up. But it's not setting up. And my panels are going to fall off the damn wall. I got them back here. I still have to have weight against this because I don't trust this damn glue. I put one down here, but there's no glue here. This fits snug. This one, I got glue around the edges. It fits fairly snug, but I put glue in there anyways. But I have to keep pressure against these things because this glue isn't holding. The glue I used yesterday set up real good. These pieces here aren't moving. They're not sliding. And I used the same amount of glue. There's not a problem when the panels fit in like this, nice and tight. And then, you know, eventually the glue will dry. So I try to cut it so that it fits in real snug. Now what I got to do now is I got to put piece in here and here and here. So I removed my light temporarily. It just plugged into a hole in here. And I'm going to put my styrofoam in here and up into here and so forth. All right, I got this piece in, and I got to put my block back in. A while back, somebody asked me about, why don't you just drill a hole here? Well, where this light is, I would have to drill a hole right here on the edge. And I'd have this furring strip that goes right across, this 1x3 here. And I'd be drilling down here. There'd be no support. This is 3/8 inch plywood, or 7/16. It's not ½ inch, it's less than that. And it would be a very bad place to do that. Now, what I can do probably is make a smaller block, but I'd still have to screw it down into here. So I could probably lop off some of this block here, because where this has got to go, it's a pain in the ass, I know, because it takes up room. The light on the vertical just hits here, so it's perfect just where this hole is here. Actually, it sits back like that now. I can't put it here. This is a 2x4 on the horizontal. I can't put it here because the pole, is going to hit here, and it's going to come out on an angle. Then when I push it in, it's going to be sticking way out here on this part instead of tucked in here like you usually see it. So I have no choice but to do it that way, but I'm going to redesign this. This is only a kind of more or less a temporary thing, but I can't do too much. I can make a smaller block, but I don't want to cut it too much because the wood will split. When there's a lot of strength, a lot of torque on this here, with the lamp being pulled over, the weight, it could crack it. So the more you cut off, the more chances of this cracking. Well, anyways, I got that done. I got to put a piece in here, and I got to move this Variac power cord here. Okay, got the pieces in here, got it in here, and got it in here. So I didn't lose only a ½ inch of my cubby hole space. Now these hooks will probably be used for my cables, but right now I want to get this part taken care of. Alright, so now what I got to do is take this off, and I'm going to lose, this is sticking out 1/4 inch over the sill here. I don't want to make a shelf because I'll bang my damn head into it going in and out of the shed. So this is going to push this cabinet out even further, so I may have to find another home for it. But what I've been doing is fitting the foam in between here and here. This is a 2x4 on the flat, the same with this. This was just to mend these 2 pieces of plywood up here, as you can see, when I built the shed. As you can see, I still got a 36 inch by 5 feet long. That's what, 60 inches? That I haven't used yet, because I've been breaking up using pieces, from here, so I don't need to get into the bigger one yet. Plus I've got one in here, 2 in here. I'm sitting pretty good, so let me get to work and get some more done here. I don't know about the rest of you people, but look at this. Look at these acorns. They're so heavy I can't rake them up. I'm tripping over them. I'm sliding all over the place. I swept this deck off about a week ago. It's ridiculous. Non-stop, day and night. Look at this. This is the worst year, and I've lived here for 34 years, and I have never, ever had this problem with the acorns. They're oak trees, of course, but it's just non-stop. Non-stop. There's no wind up there. It's still. It just goes and goes and goes. I'm tripping over them, sliding on them, and everything else, and I can't rake them. They're just too heavy. Boy, I gotta fill the bird feeder. fact, I'm going to do that right now. Okay, you can see I've got that in there. I don't need any here because this is 1.5 inches thick and there's 1/2 inch plywood on the other side. So I don't need that. I do have to go into these areas here. I don't know if I'm going to get that today or not. I got to work up in here now. And of course on this side, I got to do the same. And then I still have to get in here and do that. And down into here. This is going to pull this out, cause this to come out another 1/2 inch. But I'm not going to worry about it. I guess it'd be alright. I don't like it out any further than it is, but there's nothing much I can do about it. If I left the cord coming out the front, then I could go right up against the wall almost totally. There's a switch back there, so it would have to be about 1/4 inch from the wall instead of about 1 inch right now. Alright, it is not a good job, but I got it in there. When it comes to angles, I am absolutely useless when it comes to angles. I cannot do angles. It's a hit and miss with angles. Okay. Been having a lot of trouble with my Kodak ZE-1. It's the second time today that it's hung up on me. That's what I hate about these flash drive camcorders. It doesn't happen too often, but it happened twice already, so I have a feeling that I may have to go back to a different kind of a camera instead of a flash drive. But anyways, I'm no good at angles. Absolutely useless when it comes to angles. But I had to piece it in here, as always. So I got that in there. And I did a better job on this side because I was able to stand right up there and get close to it. Whereas in the bench side, it was harder. So I got this in. I got the pieces in here, but here we are 3:45 already, and I still am not done and still haven't started this yet. So I got this back in, and I'm sticking out about 1/2 inch here. That's not too bad. Well, it's the next day. You're looking at what's left of the insulating board. I used it all up, other than just these few pieces here, and there are a couple of little places I could probably do, but I'm not going to because I have some areas that I have not finished. But I ran out of money and I'm going to have to wait the next month to buy one more sheet. Okay, I would say 95% of the shed done. Everything's up here is done. The ceiling, of course, is done. In here is done. All through here, down here. This is plywood here, 3/4 inch plywood right here, where the first aid kit is mounted to. All this is done. Down in here is done. Behind here, I have another panel. I left the fiberglass batting in on that one area down here. I put it behind the fan here. You can see it. Between the joists, see right there? Like these places here, they're going to have to be filled in with fiberglass batting or something. And you can't see back there, but I did that wall there, like I did here. You can see behind the fan here, and all the aluminum is faced out. So in this corner here, I got under there and I finished that. On this back wall here, I'm not probably going to bother with that because that's not an outside wall. That goes into the snowblower and lawnmower shed. But I might in the future when I get a few extra bucks. Extra, all behind here. All behind here. And I had some fiberglass batting and I just shoved it in the corner there. Down here. Down in the back on the wall, back of the oscilloscope, over here. And through here, back in here, and I also took and redone this and put this right up against the wall, and now it's hardly taking up any room on the bench and it's solid. So I got all that done here, as well as these areas filled in here, and one piece here. But I ran out I thought I was going to have enough to do this area and to do this. So it's going to have to wait until next month. I left myself really, really short this month. But we have to do it, you know, because the cold weather. So I can feel the difference in this shed when I leave the heater on 350 watts all night and we get some cold mornings. And I can feel some warmth in here. Not comfortable, but it isn't bad. It isn't bad. And in the future, I can add another layer, but this stuff is not cheap, over the top of this if I had to. But right now, this is pretty good. Okay, I took some scraps and just shoved it in here and then down in here between the two 2x4s. It's roughly about 2.5 inches or so between the two. So I know you're wasting anything, so we just stuck that in there. And also, I had some pieces I put in here and over here. So we don't waste anything. So now I even put a little piece here. That's all I have. So next month I'll buy some more and I'll put it behind the speaker and over here. And I can remove this cabinet and come out more. There's not a problem there. This one's screwed to the wall, so we're just going around it. I had a little hard time getting that screwed into the wall, so I'm not going to disturb that. But this one, we'll make a full panel and stick it in here, but we got to buy another sheet of that stuff. I might be able to find another brand that may be like a little, not only less money, but I don't need a 4x8 sheet, because I have to do behind here, you know, on these walls here. Down in here and back here. So that's important to be having that taken care of too. We can't let that go. So that's going to have to wait unless by some miracle I come up with a couple extra dollars. You know, maybe I should stop drinking so damn much coffee and I'll have the money to buy the rest of the insulation. So folks, it's time to say thank you for watching. You have a good day.